To be honest, this one experience was the first time I ever thought, nah, I am leaving music. It's not for me. I don't want nothing to do with it. You have record labels that could take advantage of you if you let them. You got music agents that will take advantage of you if you let them. You got PR people that will take advantage of you if you let them. You got music managers that will take advantage of you if you let them. You got told you that everything that you go through in life, you go through for a reason. There is no mistake. God doesn't make mistakes. Hey guys, it's your girl Jaye Moni and this is Jay's World. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before and you're coming through, it's good to have you back here. So today, it's actually going to be my second scam story. If you saw my other scam story, I told you guys a lot. I told you guys then that I must have the word MUG written on my forehead because I get scammed all the time. So I thought I'd come back today and give you guys another story time. It's another scam story, unfortunately, but you know what? I tend to believe that not every bad thing that happens to you is supposed to be bad forever. You know, there's some things that you go through and you learn from. I think that bad things only stay bad if you don't learn from it. You know, it's always a blessing or a lesson. So there you go. So I have another scam story, but before we get into it, I need you guys to please help me grow by hitting that subscribe button. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, so I need your support to do that. So please hit the subscribe button. We're nearly there. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share. If you feel like there's someone who would really enjoy this video, you know, put them into it, send them the link, send them here. So this story time today, I hope that a lot of musicians watch it, and I'm sharing it because obviously I want you guys to be aware. I think to shed some knowledge on what musicians go through, but I also am sharing it because I believe that maybe if there is someone out there who sees it, maybe they can avoid making the same mistake that I did and getting scammed out of £2,500. Yes, I got scammed out of £2,500 by a complete fraudster, and here's what happened. By the way, guys, before we get into the story, I'm going to remind you one more time to please hit that subscribe button and help your girl grow. It's Jaye Moni of Jay's World, and we are about to get into story time for real. So if you saw my last video, guys, I told you guys, look, I must have the word mug on my forehead because I get scammed all the time. Like, I literally just get out of bed and go to the street, and if there's a scammer around, like, they just gravitate towards me. But I'm learning from that, you know, and I'm learning to be more careful. For those who don't know, I'm actually a musician. I think before I'm a blogger, I'm definitely a musician. I've been releasing my songs since 2015, and yeah, this scam story actually pertains to the second single I ever released, ololufemi. I want to put musicians on game. You know, there's a lot of music scammers out there, and musicians are very vulnerable, I feel. You have record labels that could take advantage of you if you let them. You got music agents that will take advantage of you if you let them. You got PR people that will take advantage of you if you let them. You got music managers that will take advantage of you if you let them. So music is a very cruel industry, and a lot of musicians, because of the love for what they do, they're driven by their passion. And that's what really makes them vulnerable. And I found myself in this exact same boat in 2016. Bear with me. So I had started releasing my music in 2015, like I said. And when it came to my second single, around the time I was dropping my second single, I got a new job. To be honest, the attention I'd been giving music throughout 2015, I really couldn't focus on it. I was at a different stage on it like that, sorry. I was now at a different stage in my life where my professional career, I kind of had to put all my energy, or at least most of my energy, into that to get it to where I want to be. So that's what I was doing. But around the same time, someone contacted me on Twitter, and it was someone I'd never met. It turned out that this guy was a producer in Nigeria, and he was like, yo, I just saw your song, or I heard your song somewhere on TV, I don't know, he'd heard my song somehow, and he contacted me, and he was like, yo, I love this song. So I was like, okay, cool, thank you so much, it's really nice to hear, thank you so much, God bless you. And we became like social media contacts, right? He was following me, I started following him, blah blah blah. And over time, like whenever he would play the song, he would send me videos, and over time, it got to the point he was telling me, you need to come to Nigeria and push this song, like it's fire. And obviously this is now a couple months into my job. I've started working, and I think this is now around November, December. So I started this job in September, and he was like, oh, you need to come and push this song, it's fire, blah blah blah. And I was like, you know, yeah, actually I would like to push my music more in Nigeria, because at the time I felt like I was making all my music in Nigeria anyway. Like I'd fly out there for studio sessions, I'd record songs, maybe I'd stay 2 weeks, do a bunch of recording sessions and come back. And so a lot of the producers and stuff that I was working with, they lived there, they lived in Lagos, and they were very, you know, it was a very authentic Afrobeat sound. And I thought, yeah, this music is more suited, like Nigerians, I feel like they would dig what I was trying to do. Yeah, so at the time when he was hitting me up saying, you need to come up promote your song in Nigeria, I started thinking about it a little bit, but I didn't have the contacts to do it. I didn't have the contacts who could go to radio that I could trust as well, who would take my songs to the radio and really fight my corner in terms of getting the airplay and the promotion that the song deserved. So I really, it was kind of like, let me focus on what I'm doing here in the UK for now. But this guy's passion, and musicians, you'll probably understand that when you drop a song, when someone is really feeling your music, bless them, but they tend to believe that they know what's better for that song sometimes than you do, and you or your team do. And it's from passion, and music is very spiritual, so I completely understand that. And this guy was very, very insistent that I needed to come to Nigeria and push my record. So maybe a few weeks passed, and one day we were having the same conversation again, and I was like, I would love to, but I don't know, I don't have a contact. I don't know who I can really trust that can help me do this and do it properly and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, I know someone. He was like, well, I don't really know the guy too well, but I know that he works with YC. He works with, you know, he named a lot of names in the industry, people. And I was like, okay, people who were doing Afrobeats and they were being successful with their music at that point. And I was like, okay, well, you know, yeah, I'd like to talk to him, you know, let's see what the prices are, and let's see, you know, in Nigeria, you know, it's the money that talks, you know, cash is king. You really cannot get anything in the music industry done in Nigeria without paying money, and it's such a shame. But I have lost so much money by trying to do things in Nigeria, because in Nigeria a lot of people have one-track mind. They only see the now, and they only see here. Some people, it's not everybody, but a lot of people that I've encountered in the music industry, they're looking to take advantage of you. And that's why I feel like it's really, really important to share this story, because like I said, musicians are very vulnerable, and if you don't educate yourself, they will educate you, to be fair. Like, it's that simple. If you don't educate yourself, they will either educate you or they will take the piss out of you. So he introduced me to this guy, and he was like, you know, he sent me the contact number. It was like, yo, this guy's working with some big artists. I really feel like he can do something for you. So he introduced me to the guy. I think he gave the guy my number. The guy got in touch with me, and we talked. And I just really wasn't feeling it. It was a lot of money, like, to promote the song. To promote my songs to the level I wanted it, this guy was quoting me about £4,000. Now guys, what you have to realize is, I am an independent artist. Every single video, studio time, producer, instrumental, every show, everything that I do, I fund from my own pocket. I work hard for my money, and I invest in music because I enjoy it, and it's my passion. So I'm not gonna just go and throw £4,000 to some dude I don't know in Nigeria who's telling me that he can put my music on MTV, Sound City, Hip TV, and I'm not even there to check on it. So I was just like, I'm not sure. So, you know, we left it alone, and then the new year came. I remember the new year came, and all this while he was still texting me, and I was just like, nah, I'll think about it, you know, just giving whatever excuses. And then one time I remember this guy, and I'm talking about, guys, I'm trying not to say anyone's names, even though their names do deserve to be said. But I'm just going to try and respect people's privacy, so I'm not saying the names. But so the new year came, and all this time we've been talking over months, and he was telling me all the people he had contacts to, the radio stations, the TV stations, blah, blah, blah. And over time, that £4,000 reduced to, look, he was basically saying to me, look, I can use my connections and my contacts to get you this package, whatever, like all the stations you want. I can get it for £2,500 rather than the £4,000 it's supposed to cost you. Now, over the time, the person who's introduced me to this guy, me and him have built up a good relationship. Like, you know, I considered him a friend. So I had a certain amount of trust in this person that allowed me to trust this other person that he brought my way. Or perhaps I just really, maybe I wanted to believe. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I'm sure you are. Could you please, because I know you're enjoying the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. From mid-January, my guy was, you know, getting in touch with me all the time, and he was saying things like, yo, the music industry is quiet. The female Afrobeats is quiet. You need to come through. Like, now you need to start promoting your songs. There's not many new songs being released right now. So blah, blah, blah. And it all was kind of making sense, but there was always like this little bit of hesitation within me. But as he began to ramp up the pressure, like, anyway, I remember like talking to my sister about it. She's a bit more of a hard nut. She's like, you know, me, I'm very like, go with my heart, more like, you know, give everybody a chance until you show me otherwise. And she's a bit more of a, and she was like, don't do it, you're a fool. If you do it, you're an idiot. And I remember saying to her, well, what have I got to lose? At most, all I lose is $2,500. And she was like, well, told you, don't do it. Anyway, I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. Do you know what happened? I did it. I thought, okay, give me your account, Guarantee Trust Bank. I had a Guarantee Trust Bank account as well. I wired the money to his account. Boom. I was like, let's get to work. Now is the time. Because also at the time, I was starting to realize that this corporate life is not for me. I can do it, but is this really what I want to do? When I have this gift of music within me that I just really want to be in a position to share it with the world and be able to make a living off it. So I did it. I sent him the money, and what happened? And then he was like, he confirmed that he got the money, and he was like, right, we're gonna get to work. I'll do this, I'll do that, blah blah blah. But then what started to happen was, over time, I'm not hearing back from him. I'll call him, no reply, just to get updates, and nothing was being done. Nothing was being done. So I went back to my friend, the person who introduced me to this guy. I was like, yo, what up? Like, you know, I've paid the money and now I can't hear from this guy no more. Nothing's been done. He was like, wow, really? I didn't know you paid. I was like, oh, well, you knew I was going to do it. That's why you gave me his contact. And he was, you know, he was like, okay, cool. Let me ring the guy. Let me follow up and see what happens. As it turned out, he came and told me that that guy who he introduced me to as a music PR, he said that guy had blocked his phone off WhatsApp, had blocked his number, so he couldn't contact the guy. Now, the guy hadn't blocked me yet, which kept a little bit of hope in my mind that he could probably be genuine and maybe he had some issues, blah, blah, blah. And I remember like a few days later, I managed to speak to the guy and he was like, no, I'm so sorry, my mom died, da 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 da. You know, when someone tells you their mom died, like, what you gonna do? You know, I can't get, you know, no music is more important than anybody's mom. So immediately I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, what, like, deal with that. If you need anything, let me know, blah, blah, blah. You know, the usual things that you do when people are really going through it. So that was that. And later on, later on. But from that moment, he never really answered his phone, never got back to me messages. And time was ticking along, nothing had still been done. So I was like, okay, let me do this test. If he fails this test, I know he is a scammer. Now, one of the things that we'd been discussing was me and YC doing a song together. So he apparently had the contacts to YC. I was feeling YC. YC's one of a dope Afrobeats rapper. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to. If he's down, like, why not? So one day I just hit him up and I was like, yo, send me YC's number. Let me start the conversation. Let's get the ball rolling about working together. Do you know what my man did, yeah? He sent me some number, which surprised me because he'd left a lot of my messages unanswered. So I wasn't expecting him to answer that message. So he sent me the number and that was very surprising. And to be honest, I felt a little bit relieved. I was like, oh, maybe he's, maybe it's not all bad. Things in Nigeria also happen very slowly. People's idea of time is very, very different in Nigeria than it is here in the UK. So when he sent me the YC's number, I added it on WhatsApp and I went to check the picture. Now the picture on WhatsApp was YC. So I was like, all right, cool. Do you know that I messaged that number? Till today, I have never had a response from that number. I believe it was a fake ass number with a fake WhatsApp profile. Probably this fraudster's old WhatsApp even, that he put a picture of YC. Anyway, once that happened, I thought to myself, I feel like now I know that this is dodgy. So let me put the pressure on, either to try and get my money back or just to try and get him to do what he said he would do. So at this point, I start putting the pressure on. I'm calling him, texting him all the time. And what happens? Eventually, he blocks me. In conclusion, guys, when he sent me this dead-ass number for YC that didn't work, and when I tried to go back to the guy who had introduced me to this guy whose name I have never mentioned, person B, I'll call the fraudster person B. Person A is the person who introduced me to this person. So when I went back to person A to tell them, look, this guy is just ignoring me. He's got my money. I'm seeing nothing. Person A was like, yo, person B has blocked me too. And I was like, okay, cool. Over time, so I started ramping up the pressure, and over time he blocked me, which I knew already at that point he was a scammer. And I didn't even know where he lived. We tried to trace I have an uncle who worked at Guarantee Trust Bank. I sent him the details that I paid this money to, and we weren't able to recover anything. We were not able to identify the guy because it was some account that he'd set up in the fake name as a student, but still had access to. It was all very complicated, guys. And it was painful. So that's my story, guys. It was $2.5 grand, which wasn't easy to just throw away. But I did it thinking that I was doing it for music, and I couldn't recover anything. And what is quite amazing, guys, is that the person A, so the person who found my music and fell in love with it and introduced me to the scammer, till now, I'm still friends with that person. I choose not to believe that they were involved in the scam. Maybe I'm a fool again. But this person has actually been a good friend to me. So I'm glad in a way that I didn't cut that person off. Maybe I should have, for introducing me to someone who led me to lose $2,500. But one thing about me, guys, is that I will always judge you for face value. I won't judge you based on what someone else says you are. I'll judge you for what you show me you are. And if you show me you're a scammer, you might fool me once, but you personally will never get a chance to do that to me again. I am someone that I am very, very passionate about music. Music has brought me a lot of happiness. There's so many times I literally look at my life and I just thank God. I said, God, thank you so much because of this love for music that you gave me, because I can't even imagine not having music in my life. And some people, they have no passion, like they have nothing that they love so much. And I've always felt very, very fortunate to have music in my life. And to be honest, this one experience was the first time I ever thought, nah, I am leaving music. It's not for me. I don't want nothing to do with it. This was the first time in my life that I thought I will quit music. I quit. This artist life is not for me. this was the first time. But you know, I started off this video by saying something, guys. I told you that everything that you go through in life, we go through for a reason. There is no mistake. God doesn't make mistakes. When you're going through something, the only mistake, no matter how bad things seem, the only mistake is if you do not learn from what you go through. See, everything in life is either a blessing or a lesson. And whatever it is, it depends on you. Now, it only ends up being neither a blessing or a lesson if you learn nothing and you just continue to make the same mistakes again, you know? So that really taught me a lot. And that's why, guys, like, something very, very, very positive came out of this experience. Because, guys, I'm telling you, when this happened to me, I was devastated. I was crushed. And it wasn't even a financial thing. I was prepared to lose that money before I did it. I remember I told my sister, well, the worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna lose this 2.5 grand. And she was like, you're a fool. And I was like, well, I was a fool. But you know what, guys? This was not about the money. What crushed me was I kind of felt like, rah. I was like, you can play with anything in my life. Play with my money. Play with things I have. Don't play with my passion. Don't play with music. Like anybody. But I didn't stay down for too long. Luckily, I had a really great producer I was working with at the time. And when I told him, I said, look, I'm not gonna be making no more music. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this for me was just like the last straw. I keep losing money. I'm not getting anywhere, da da da. And this producer said to me, he said, Jaye Moni, he said, you broke my heart, because you said to me, I'm going to make you a beat. I will make you a beat, and even if you don't feel the inspiration to write, I will write you a chorus. I will do it because I need you to understand that this is what you're meant to do. And he went away and he wrote a beat, you know, like this really blew me away, you know. So sometimes, guys, like I said, sometimes when things get so dark in your life and you feel like you've been buried, you have actually been planted. So something really, really good came out of this situation that I found myself in, where I wanted to give up something that I loved so much, something that was a big part of my identity in my life, because someone had hurt me, they had mugged me off, and you know, but like I said, I took that situation and I learned a lesson, and it actually ended up bringing something very positive both for me and my music career. So we are going to talk about that in the next video. Guys, it's Jaye Moni of Jaye's World. Please, 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 I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please, 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 if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos, more dope videos, by the way. And yeah, subscribe, notify, share. If you have any musicians who are chasing their dream with a passion and maybe doing business in Nigeria at the same time, and you feel like they need to see this video, send them this video. Don't let them lose money like I did. Do you know what you can do with 2.5 grand as a musician? You can promote your music. You can promote your music to hundreds of thousands of people via social media these days, or Google. So when you work hard and someone scams it away from you, it hurts. So put your musician friends on game, tag them, send them the video, let them avoid the same mistakes that I did. And I really, really hope that this video helps somebody. Guys, it's Jaye Moni of Jaye's World. I'm gonna see you guys soon, real soon. Love. Woo!
Ololufemi, ololufemi, don't take your loving down, go nowhere. Give me a chance, give my touch away. Don't take your loving down, go nowhere. Give me a chance, give my touch away. 'Cause you need somebody to